Hey, here we are. Oh man, let me fix my collar. Okay. All right, here we are, live streaming. We are dreaming, and yeah, that's it. We're dreaming and live streaming. I don't really know if I know what else to say. I'm back, guys. Tour is over. I'm back, and I missed y'all. I missed y'all while I was on tour. I missed. I mean, I'm sure some of you even came to the tour. You know, I'm sure some of you came to the tour, and we had a good time. But for those of you who weren't able to make it because I wasn't in your spot, hey, we're going to do more dates at some point in the future where I will be in your spot. And I don't know what else to say beyond that. You know, I'll be in your area at some point. And I just missed interacting with you guys online. And that's all. That's all I got to say. Got a nice clean-shaven face today. Death Grips review in the can. Freddie Gibbs quickie in the can. J-Rock review written, working on the 9 Inch Nails review. Got other reviews coming down the pipe that I am working on. Got the Serpent with Feet, the Jay-Z and Beyonce, the Gorillaz, the Dance Gavin Dance. Drake's coming out soon. It's all in my head. Thinking about the Natalie Prass, thinking about the Tiana Taylor, of course, the Kamasi Washington, the Koenji Hayeki, the Florence and the Machine, Licky Lee, Gang Gang Dance. Code Orange also has a nice little new EP out. They sent me like this really cool boss-ass USB over here with the album on it. So that's pretty neat. That's neato. Wait, that's it. There we go. Whoop, whoop. It's a cool little rubber kitty cat. I got to do something like this. Neat little piece of swag there. But yeah, this is our usual bi-weekly live stream. Every Thursday night, I hit up your super chats, answer questions, take questions, respond, talk to you guys as much as possible for the next 2 hours. So let's get into it. Yachts review when it's recorded. It should be going up tomorrow. Year of the Snitch, 10 out of 10, maybe. Maybe. Next, Uncle Science Fiction for Classic Review. I've not heard that one. I can't say. I apologize for accusing you of having fewer subscribers than Paul Joseph Watson. Hey, that's okay. You didn't know at the time. You didn't realize. I have more subscribers than Paul Joseph Watson, and I will continue to have more subscribers than Paul Joseph Watson because he is a loser. He's not really all that relevant. His opinions don't matter, and the only people who listen to the things he has to say are stupid. So, stupid people, they die out faster than smart people. The lifespan, not as long. And Paul Joseph Watson, he's a goofy piece of shit. So let's go on from there. If you came out to my live shows, you would have experienced a very fun live in-person stink piece where I pulled apart his really shitty video about This Is America. All right, let's go on. Let's do some super chats. Could you please rate these albums in rainbows, Turn on the Bright Lights, Antics, and Sound of Silver? Antics, which Antics album, which record are we talking about here? Okay, Antics, obviously nowhere near as significant in my opinion as Turn on the Bright Lights. I think Turn On is a 10. I think In Rainbows is a 9 at least. Sound of Silver is a 10. I'm going to leave it at that. Akira turns 30 in July. Holy shit! Also, book a show in Ohio. I will plan on doing some Midwest dates at some point. You know, we'll do St. Louis, we'll do Cleveland, we'll do Chicago. You know, all of that will happen. We'll probably do another one too. First, I do want to do a West Coast tour at some point early next year. So do look out for that first. But Midwest will be taken care of at some point. Okay, thank you, Captain Falcon. Thank you very much. And when I do come out to Ohio, when I do come out to Cleveland, I hope your bitch ass is there. Let's see. Anthony, please show my girl TS some love. Can we agree that Red was a great album and Speak Now, while not as good, probably the best pop country album ever, since pop country sucks? I mean, I certainly respect Red more than 1989, which honestly just kind of annoys me. And it's certainly better than her last record. So, Taylor Swift can get a little bit of love there. Can get a little bit of love. Going to New York next week, what are some record shops you recommend? Also, any plans for 1.5 million? No plans for 1.5 million, even though it is just around the corner. However, I am very happy to say that 1.5 million was one of my goals this year for the channel. I'm really happy to reach it at the midpoint of the year. It was exactly about a year ago where the channel was at just 1 million subscribers. So we are growing pretty nicely. In my opinion, anyway. I'm not, some prankster on YouTube. I'm not a prank man, but I'm happy with the growth. My other goal is to get the Fantano channel to 500K, and in the next 8 or 9 months, we should be hitting like the 2 million subscriber mark on the main channel, so I am pretty excited about that. Now, as far as the record stores go, I really don't know. I used to do more record shopping in New York City when I was in college, but I don't do a whole lot of it lately. So I can't really say, unfortunately. But I did go to the Third Man record shop over in Nashville when I was out there, and that was fucking boss as fuck. If you're out there, I do highly recommend it. Thoughts on Sparks kimono in my house? It's pretty good. I do prefer propaganda to it, though. Our classic out of 10 equals 10 out of 10. Yeah, I mean, the classics for the most part are pretty much like a 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Yeah, I pretty much do consider the classics to pretty much be 10s. If I don't feel like that's the case, I typically explain it explicitly in the review, saying like, hey, this is a classic for sure, but maybe it's a little flawed, or maybe I don't really like it all that much personally, but still it's undeniably a classic because it is so influential. So many people out there do love it. It has withstood the test of time. Typically, if something isn't that great in my opinion, but still a classic, or I don't vibe with it as much as maybe some other people do, I typically say that in the review itself. All right, T. Nicholson, Melon, you seem knowledgeable about things, ... Listen, I'm not knowledgeable about shit. Man, I'm just on a fucking roll today. I'm excited to be back. It's funny. Tour was a lot. And this, honestly, it feels like vacation. So what do you think, what do you do if you're in a long-term sexless relationship? I've tried talking to her about it, and it's gone nowhere. I love her, but I miss getting my freak on. Listen, sex is very pivotal to a relationship, and being on like the same sexual wave as somebody else, I think is pretty significant. I mean, listen, relationships break up over lesser things. People break up with their significant other because they are really rude to their family members. They break up with their significant other because they're really shitty with money, or they're just like a non-functioning person. People break up with their significant others because they're just like not physically attracted to them. People break up with their significant others because they're just miserable in the relationship because of some whatever fucking reason. People break up with their significant others because they go off to school somewhere, or they find a job opportunity that the other person doesn't move along with them to chase after. So, I mean, look, obviously it's something that you should give your significant other a chance to compromise with you on. Give them a chance. You said you've talked about it. I mean, I don't know, try talking to somebody else who's outside of the relationship that knows you personally. I would say, try again, a few more last-ditch efforts, give the person a real opportunity, and maybe explain, like, hey, like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but this is, like, really important to me. Are you just, like, not sexually attracted to me? Are we not kind of, like, at the same level of sexual intimacy or interest? How can we get there? Is there anything I can do to sort of more make you interested in sex with me more regularly? Have an honest and open conversation with the person about what you can both do to try to find some kind of common ground and find some way to kind of smooth this over and just make it work. And if it doesn't work, if it's that important to you, if it makes the relationship absolutely torture to fucking be in, then, just bow out respectfully and just be single and find somebody who you will be happy with in a relationship. So that is essentially my advice, and listen, it's not just about the sex thing. There are lots of reasons one could be totally miserable in a relationship. And look, you don't deserve to be miserable, nor does your significant other deserve to be with somebody who makes them miserable. So, I don't know, give yourself a chance to be with somebody who makes you happier, and give your significant other currently a chance to maybe find somebody who they vibe with better, or, make happier. So, I don't know. That's my thoughts. Thoughts on Maynard James Keenan allegations, response, and fallout. I saw the allegations on Twitter. They seemed super detailed and pretty chilling. Quite disturbing, honestly. I did not see the response, and I did not see the fallout. I really wasn't paying attention to that. I've kind of had my nose in the books over the past few days and have been kind of like, trying to get all these reviews out that I've fallen behind on. So that's currently where my mind state is at. But now that you've said that, I'll try to see what the response and fallout are. The allegations were, again, super detailed and not, and believe me, having detail is not the telltale sign of allegations being true. However, if the allegations are true, I can only imagine that, Maynard seeing those allegations would be absolutely fucking chilled and probably shit his pants. So, if they are true, it wouldn't surprise me if, he gave a really bad response and there was fallout. So, again, I'm not making any accusations or anything of my own. I've read the allegations and I have not sort of followed it any further than that. So I'm going to have to leave it at that. Hey, dude, I know it sounds dumb, but how good do you have to be to get reviewed by Melon? I wouldn't really say it's a metric of goodness as much as it is just like, are you making music that is worth discussing, talking about, sharing, and being excited about? Like, if you get your music on my ears through my email or through my Twitter or something like that, and I try it out and I think it's great, I think it's exciting, I'm going to have to share it. If it's so great that I can't not talk about it, then I'm going to say something about it. It's like, what you're asking me is something I can't really quantify. How good do I need to be reviewed by the Melon? You need to be 6. I really don't know. I mean, look, if you're trying to approach me with music, try to make sure it's professional grade, I guess. And I'll leave it at that. Melon, I wanted to know your thoughts on The Strokes' This Is It. Great record, fantastic record, classic record, not a bad song on it, excellent performances, production, songs, love Julian Casablancas' voice. And it's just an excellent album all around. Oh shit, did I miss your question? The rest of it disappeared. Shit. But I mean, I fucking love that record. So, I have to ask, man, why have you not done reviews for Odyssey? Frankly, I just find the music to be kind of bland and it doesn't really do all that much for me. Like when I listen to it, I just don't have anything to say about it. And listen, it's nothing personal. He's not the only artist who I feel that way about. I do cover a lot of music. However, there is so much more music out there that when I listen to, I just really don't have any kind of strong feelings on at all. I mean, sure, maybe if you forced me to a corner at gunpoint, I could probably a review out. However, I'd probably much rather talk about something that I have stronger feelings on, or I feel like would result in a more interesting musical conversation. Frankly, Odyssey, I just feel like isn't doing all that much that's very interesting or worth discussing in a deep fashion, but I guess that's just me. Next, thoughts on country turning away from the bro country and getting back to the neo-country sound. Beautiful Crazy by Luke Combs. Frankly, I have not been following very closely the bro country to neo-country shift. I mean, I don't really think either are all that good. To me, country is in a serious identity crisis at the moment. However, I will make an excellent country recommendation to you right now at this very second. What the heck is her name? I shouted her record out the other day. I'm planning on reviewing it. Here it is over here. The artist, her name is Priscilla Renea. The album is Colored. And this album, Family Tree, that kicks the entire record off, is fucking awesome. Vocals are great. Production is great. Really classy country sound. Great rustic instrumentation. And powerful, passionate vocals that are awesome as fuck. So there you go. That is my country recommendation for you right now. But again, bro to neo-country and back and forth, I don't really care. That's kind of like being passed between two terrible lovers again and again. Hey, just curious if you've heard of Darwin Dees. I have. I remember when that dude kind of blew up, although I haven't really liked much of what he's put out since then, since kind of breaking through. I just think they're kind of okay. I mean, if, they had more spectacular music, I think they would have kind of put it out by now and kind of stayed at the level of relevance they once were when they initially broke out, or he, rather. Melon, it's weird knowing that you're at a level of fame that you get shouted out in rap songs. Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you your opinion on Lady Gaga's Alejandro. I think that cut is pretty good. If I remember the song that you're talking about correctly. And is it weird knowing that I'm at a level of fame where I get shouted out in rap songs? It's not so much the shout out things that weird me out. What weirds me out more is like they're literally people who, when making a song, will think about what the fuck I think of it, or like, you know, oh, what's Fantano gonna think about this track, and blah 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 blah. Like if somebody shouts me out, like that's just them having fun or making a cultural reference or just kind of being silly, or, you know, making a reference that some people are going to get and sort of like be hype over, which, you know, everybody does in rap songs. You know, that's what everybody does. But what I hope that is the case going forward is that my influence is not so large, or that artists don't fucking get worried in their heads like, oh, you know, will Fantano like this or not like this or blah, 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 blah. I like that I'm sort of maybe making people think a little bit more critically about the things that they listen to and the things that they make. That's great. You know, if it makes people care a bit more about the process and what they're doing. But, you know, don't worry about what a needle drop review might say. You know, like, just make the music you want to make the music that's in your heart, and do it as best as you can. And, you know, what the review is going to be is what the review is going to be. So. Next, why did you underscore Firepower? You called it one of the best heavy metal records in a decade and nearly flawless. Your whole description of the album sounded more like a 9 to 10. I think my rating is based more on the fact that at the end of the day, it's not really anything new, you know? Like, it, absolutely sure, it is one of the better heavy metal records of the decade. But really, like, what is the significance of heavy metal right now in 2018? You know what I mean? You know, it's kind of like buying stock in Gateway computers. You know what I mean? Like, and again, I'm not trying to shit entirely on heavy metal. It's a great genre. It had its moment in the sun. There are fantastic albums throughout it all around. And I was really happy to hear that, you know, one of the greats in the genre came back and, you know, really fucking kicked ass on a new album. But the thing at the end of the day, it could have used more updates. It could have used more adventure and excitement. Really, to me, what that album is, as great as it is, you know, it's in a lot of ways just kind of an exercise in nostalgia. It's kind of just keeping the torch lit. Not necessarily a bad thing. That's why it's a great album. That's why it's most likely going to be in like my top 20 albums of the year. But you know, I think it could have used more new and refreshing ideas. So. But still, great album. Great album. Not trying to take that away from it. Next, Talius, thank you very much. Brandon, thank you. Hi, Melon. I think you're sleeping on My Morning Jacket. They are my favorite band, and you have not given them much attention to their last few albums, and I don't think you reviewed Jim's solo stuff. I don't really care for much for Jim's solo stuff. As far as like MMJ's... How many of their latest records have I missed out on? I know that I reviewed Circuital. Did I review The Waterfall? Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I just wasn't really feeling The Waterfall at all. Evil Urges came out before the channel even existed. But frankly, as far as like you know, indie rock and folk rock and alt country go, like it's not really a favorite band of mine. You know, Z is pretty cool, but not one of my favorite records. It's, yeah, I mean, you could say I'm sleeping on him. I'm probably sleeping on him. But I'm probably not going to stop. So, thanks for sharing your feels, releasing some house music tomorrow, and would love to hear what you think. Revival by Spheramid. What? It's a fucking great name. Via Care Package Music on Bandcamp. Keep up the good work. Spheramid. Oh, come on. Here we go. Revival by Spheramid. Revival, Spheramid, Care Package, Bandcamp. I don't know. I'm gonna look that up. That seems kind of interesting. So, all right. Thank you very much. All right, guys. I have a lot of these super chats. Let's go. Oh wow! Damn it! Come on. There we go. Whoa. $100 fucking Akira is a bitch. Are you sure? Are you sure about this? The Year of the Snitch review is dropping tomorrow. Love you, love you, love you. Thank you so much for supporting. Mwah, 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 mwah. Ow, ow, ow. Let's go. Next one. Have you heard the new Bus Driver album? I didn't hear the entire thing yet. I've heard the first leg of it before I went out on tour. I don't really have much of a comment to say about it right now, other than that it kind of strikes me as being a little jazzier, not quite as synthetic as Perfect Hair, but I have heard a bit of it. So, Bleach versus Insecticide, which is better in your opinion? I'm more of a Bleach guy. I'm going to have to go with Bleach. And really for no other reason that I just think the songs are kind of catchier. Hey, Melon, I love you. I love you. Do you like the Deadly Syndrome? More specifically, their debut, the Ortolan. If not, then I still love you. I still love you too. The Deadly Syndrome. The Deadly Syndrome. I cannot say. I have not heard their shit. So there it is. Okay, I'll try it out later. But I have not heard their stuff. I have not heard the Deadly Syndrome. So I cannot say that I love them. Do I eat booty or what? Yes. What real fucking man doesn't? Only a beta cuck piece of shit that watches Paul Joseph Watson would not eat the booty, especially of a beautiful, gorgeous, respectable, smart, talented woman who is a fantastic significant other and the greatest person in your life. That's just fucking reciprocal, bro. Also, if you don't eat box, you don't deserve to live. Alejandro Soto, $10. Thank you. We have Fire Shark 26. Hey, dude, just curious if you've heard of Darwin Deez. I have. I talked about him earlier. I don't know why so many people are talking about Darwin Deez. Is there a new record out? Is it actually good? I haven't heard a good Darwin Deez album in years. So I will keep up the good work. I love you. And yeah, I know Darwin Deez. It's kind of standard indie pop. It's okay. Here's a joke for you. What's the difference between a 4-year-old and a bag of cocaine? Do I really want to read this? It looks like an Eric Clapton joke, and we all know where that's going. Eric Clapton wouldn't let the cocaine hit the floor. Good job. Opinion on Alpha Mist, I cannot say because I've not heard the Alpha Mist, although that sounds pretty interesting. Alpha Mist is it sounds almost like a pharmaceutical. Try Alpha Mist today. It'll clear up your brain. You mentioned back that Father John Misty sent you an early cut of his album or song. I was curious why he did that. Is he looking for opinions, possible things to change or what? Yes, Father John Misty sent me not an early version. He literally sent me the final studio version of Mr. Tillman months before the album was out. And he didn't really ask me to, hey, what do you think of this? Blah, 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 blah. He just sent it to me. And honestly, like, I typically avoid demos and early tracks or things like that because it could ruin kind of the vibe or the feel of the song for me when I listen to the final version later. So I didn't even listen to it until like I'd already heard the album or like around the time the album was out. So I was like, holy shit, I can't believe you sent me this fucking song, and I avoided it, and it was a great cut. But yeah, I don't really know what his motivation was. He just emailed it to me. He's a cool guy. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. All right, next. Adam says, love you, Melon Boy. Any chance of a Mountain Goats Tallahassee Classic review in the future? If I was to do a Mountain Goats Classic, I'd probably do an All Hail West Texas. Although Tallahassee is the more popular record. I don't know. There are a lot of classic albums that I kind of want to get to first, though. That one's, it's not a bad one. It's not a bad one. It's not a bad pick. Jesse, know of any emo-tinged rap? Genre-bending emo shit that's at least decent. All I can find is Nothing Nowhere, and he's decent. Also, thank you for putting a great show on in Richmond. Please come back someday. I will. Next, that's actually a really funny comment because there's so many people who are just like, dude, what the fuck? Where's what are you gonna do during this tour, asshole? What the fuck are you gonna do during this tour? And I'm just like, come and find out, bitch. Come and find the fuck out. And everybody came. We sold out quite a few of the shows, and we all had fun. And all the people who were like, I just wanted to know what he did, we're all sitting at home not having fun because you didn't take the plunge, bitch. You didn't take the plunge. All right, next. I hope I didn't fuck up on that one. 2 items, Anthony. You listened to the Golden Earring yet? I did listen to a little bit of the Golden Earring. They had some tracks that I was familiar with, but I didn't know who the band was. So it was funny that you had me listen to them. I'm assuming you're the same guy who brought them up like weeks ago. But yeah, you know, I've heard their hits on classic rock radio, and I didn't know that that was the name of the band. Also, am I familiar with the sibling pop group Echosmith? Do I think of them as an old classic rock guy? There are the soul mainstream pop group I'm into. I have not heard of that pop group, but yes, again, I did try out Golden Earring, or I rather refamiliarize myself with them now knowing their name. And now being able to associate that with their more popular tracks that I had already heard on radio. Hey, Melon, have I listened to Tyler Childers? And if so, what do I think of him? Sturgill Simpson produced his last album, Purgatory, and it's really good. Sturgill Simpson production credit does sound interesting to me, so I will look that up because hopefully it good. Hopefully it nice. There we go. All right, next. Trying to get through all of them. Trying to hit all the bases. What is my opinion on Missy Elliott in general? I find her really creative and found she pushed the visuals and sounds in hip hop. She absolutely fucking did. Her and Timbaland together forged a pretty classic and influential sound in the 90s and 2000s. Which still has quite a bit of influence today, but I think because Missy Elliott kind of trailed off artistically and disappeared into the ether for a bit, I feel like a lot of the millennial generation has kind of lost touch with. People who are millennials in their 30s and a little bit older do very much remember when she was at her creative peak, and I hope she comes out with a new album soon. You know, some of her newer singles were kind of rough, but I feel like Missy has a good record in her somewhere, and I would love to hear that album. Especially Pharrell does some of the production in Timbaland, too. All right, let's see. Alejandro Soto. Hey, Anthony, I enjoy the vinyl updates. Curious, what was was your record collecting journey always a steady pace? Or is it out of control in terms of the money you spend on them? How often do you buy records? It's always been a super steady pace, but these days I listen to a lot of music. I review a lot of music. Occasionally here and there I get promos sent over. And on top of that, you know, when I buy records, I mean, you know, not to make anybody jealous. I'm not trying to make anyone jealous, okay? Don't get jealous. Do not get jealous right now, okay? Don't be a jealous ass bitch in the comments, okay? But when I do buy albums, it is a tax write-off. So when I do, you know, review something that I love, I do tend to pick it up because if I don't buy it on vinyl, I'm going to fucking pay it in taxes anyway. So there you go. But anyway... So I have been kind of collecting more records lately of stuff, and I've had to buy another vinyl shelf, and I don't want to get to the point where I need to buy another one. So there we go. Favorite gothic post-punk album? Let me think. Does like some... No, maybe not totally. I mean, The Cure, obviously, but like, does Christian Lunch count? You know, The Cure's best stuff and probably Christian Lunch's best stuff. If not, listen to Velocity Design Comfort by Sweet Trip. Wait a second. That's not a gothic post-punk album. It's like Kevin Shields mixed with glitch beat electronics. Yeah, but how is that? I mean, I guess a separate a question there. But Sweet Trip, that Sweet Trip record is great. Really great shoegazy experimental electronic album. It's fucking killer. One of the most interesting albums of the 2000s, in my opinion. Am I coming to Florida on my next tour? I was trying to go to Florida on this previous one, but none of the offers were all that good. However, next time around, hopefully we get some better offers because the tour that I just did, it was a bit of a test run of sorts because there were a lot of people out there that didn't quite think that I would be able to sell out these venues, do as well as I did on the tour. And there are actually quite a few venue people and promoters now who are seeing the numbers and they're impressed. So, next time around, hopefully I get a better Florida date. Hopefully I get, just some more interesting venues. Although I didn't mind the tour that I just did. We played some pretty punky and scummy fucking places. The type of places I used to go to when I was a kid to see bands and, you know, punk groups and underground hip hop groups when I was growing up. So I was actually pretty hype. So what is the best Midwest emo album? Can I go with Cap'n Jazz? Like, their record? I'll Cap and Jazz counts, right? I'll say Cap and Jazz. Hey Melon, me and my friend are a shoegaze rap band called Tired. You should check out our song Scissors on all platforms. Also, I love your videos, dude. Keep up the good work. I will try to recall that. And also, again, Akira is a bitch. Thank you. Everybody, check out this sweet song Scissors on all platforms by Tired. And hit me up. Tell me if it's good. Tell me if it's good as shit. Can you rate a Prince and Pink Floyd's music on your Rate Your Music account? I probably could, although I've been kind of lacking on my Rate Your Music account. I haven't been on it a lot lately, and I think I probably forgot my password too. So, and am I still doing the top 10 Wu-Tang solo projects I discussed in another live stream? Yes, I probably should. I do have like the list over here next to me. I should probably do it. I should probably just do it. What's my opinion on Lemon Jelly Lost Horizons? Would I ever re-review because the internet? No planning on re-reviewing that, honestly. Lemon Jelly, are they the band who I think they are? Okay, no, they're not. Honestly, I don't think I've heard that record. I got them confused with another band, but yeah, I haven't heard that record, so I can't say. So I apologize. But again, no planning on re-reviewing because of the internet. But I will give another listen to it probably when I do my next Childish Gambino review. I'll see if I have any different feelings on it, and if I do, it will most likely turn up in my next 10 albums I've changed my mind on video, which I am planning on doing another one of those. But the thing is, right now I don't have 10 albums. I have 6. And no spoilers as to what they are either. So, Akira, what are you doing, dude? You're dropping these $100 super chats. It's gooder than a bitch. When are you going to do a classic review of the new Classic by Cal Chichesta? Shit changed the game forever. Fuck that mixtape, bro. That mixtape's trash. Cal's next mixtape is going to be even better. Matthew Jones, hey Melon, greetings from New Zealand. Hey, how you doing? I would love to visit your country one day. I was so close when I went to Australia a few times, but I didn't go over there. However, some people flew over from New Zealand to see my tours in Australia when I did them down there, and those people were really nice. Also, a lot of the music you put out down there is pretty weird. I think there's something in the water. Always. Let's kind of go into the question as we always do. Ever heard of a band called Sticky Fingers? Would love to hear your opinion on them. Yes, I have, but whether or not I really enjoy their stuff because I haven't heard them in a while is kind of eluding me at the moment, so I can't really say, but still, shout the fuck out to New Zealand. Hi, Melon. I know you don't like most of OVO's signings, but if pressed, which group has the most potential in my opinion? I don't know. Probably Party Next Door. Probably. Since, objectively, I think he's seeing the most success, like, outside of the label. You know what I mean? So probably Party Next Door. Atlanta has some freak pop happening. Low key. Have I heard Buckethead Shaman? Worth a listen. Kisses from Atlanta. Love ya. I was in Atlanta. I didn't hear no freak pop. But that sounds interesting to me. I'll try to give it a shot if I recall. Buckethead Shaman. Freak pop. Okay. But still, Atlanta was a pretty fucking awesome place, I gotta say. Hey, Melon, do you think Kevin Barnes is done? No, I think Kevin Barnes is probably going to keep going. However, will he put out anything else that's interesting will kind of remain to be seen. Unfortunately, at this point, I think Of Montreal has just kind of devolved into Kevin Barnes and friends, and really that's it. I don't know what else to say at this point. I think Kevin Barnes is probably past his peak, unless he decides to really try to do something that is going to challenge listeners and try to keep current with the music meta. As of right now, it just kind of seems like he's content to just sort of devolve into weird psychedelic synth funk obscurity. Yeah, which is unfortunate because Of Montreal put out some of my favorite records back in the day, but what you gonna do? It's easy to sleep when you're dead. Hey, Anthony, are you going to review the new Vane Error Zone? Yes, I am. Let me look over here. Fuck. Where the fuck, Anthony? What the fuck? Okay, well, I just fucking failed, guys. I'm sorry. All right, let me put that there. I thought it was on my calendar, and it wasn't, so thank you for reminding me. But I have been planning on reviewing it. I was hype on the singles, which I talked about in my Best Worst Tracks videos, so Cursed Comfort, thank you! Let's keep going. Will you and Cal ever release your sex tape? Only for $1 million will I release the Cal Truchesta Anthony Fantano sex tape. $1 million. Okay? And then once that's released, my career is going to be over, because that's why I need the million, because it's essentially career suicide. All right. Let's move on from there. Which artists are you interviewing next, or at least plan on? I haven't planned out any interviews for the immediate future. I just kind of got back from tour and am kind of trying to settle down and maybe think about, my next worst to best or something like that, and just kind of get on my review grind and catch up on that shit. And just continue doing the Fantano channel and everything. I wish sometimes I had more time to do weird one-off specialized videos, but oftentimes I'm just trying to keep up and stay current and stay on my grind and just kind of keep on what the best and most interesting music out there is. It is a lot, but hey, I can't say that it's going to be like that forever. Maybe going forward I'll get more resources, maybe hire some more people, try to find a way to make things a bit more easier to manage, and then maybe make more videos like that. So there are more specialty videos coming up. And more interviews too. But I'm not against doing interviews. I haven't abandoned them, but I just haven't sort of planned my next one, that's all. Hey, Anthony, how do I feel about the Kinks discography as a whole and them getting back together? The Kinks discography is actually pretty great. Kinks are overall a sort of underrated band when it comes to the whole British invasion thing. Lola and all that shit, fantastic records. And them getting back together, at this point, I don't really know. I'm still a firm believer of the idea that if you don't use it, you lose it. And not to say that the band has just kind of been, just jerking off all this time since they've been broken up. But it's been a while since they've been a band together, and who knows how the hell a new album from them is going to sound. So, I'll probably try it, not promising a review or anything, probably try it skeptically and just kind of see what's up. And if it's great, then I'll probably talk about it. Hey, Melon, how do I feel about the Tiana Taylor situation and the fact that there's going to be a re-release similar to the Kids See Ghost tracklist issue? Do I feel like Kanye rushed everything? Frankly, this whole summer release schedule for Kanye has been super exciting, but it has all been very rushed in a way. However, I don't really feel like it's impacted the art all that negatively. Honestly, I have not heard the Tiana Taylor yet. Because I am trying to get through so much more that I have backlogged. However, I do plan on listening to and reviewing it. But would I say it's botched, it's screwed up? Frankly, I feel a little fortunate because my review is going to be late, so my review will be on time for sort of this new version, which is actually kind of cool. So I will be reviewing what I hope is the final version of the record. Hopefully, it's better by that time. And it's a little rushed, it's chaotic, but if it's working, it's working, and people seem to be paying attention. People seem to be streaming, so. All right, next. Oh, God damn it. Where is that shit? Where is it? There it is. What up, Melon? I recently saw Sleep a couple of weeks back in L.A., saw a band open for them called Bell Witch, and was wondering if I was aware of their album Mirror Reaper. I was aware of it. Austin digs the record quite a bit. However, me personally, I'm not that huge into the album myself. To me, the combination of doom metal and slowcore is maybe just too much of a slog for me personally. However, I do recognize that the record does have some very personal and dark origins, and also, is a unique album for the genre, but it's just not really kind of scratching my doom metal itches, I guess. After this summer of music, is it still taboo to say that Ye is the greatest artist in hip-hop history? I honestly can't put anybody above him anymore. Collaborate with Dead End Hip Hop again. What's going on with Adult Swim? I don't know if you could say that about Ye. I think we would need another kind of decade to sort of fully decide, but certainly it will be arguable that that is the case, because I don't know how many other artists in the genre before, hip hop is eventually replaced by something else, will get the chance to have as exciting and diverse a discography as Kanye West, and stretched over such a long period of time too. Beyond that, I should collaborate with Dead and Hip Hop again. That's true. I was in Atlanta. I did meet those guys in person. It was great, but unfortunately our schedules didn't really line up for a collaboration. And what's going on with Adult Swim? I got an email link over there. I got a connection. I got some people over there who I'm talking to. I shot them a pitch email with some kind of silly, ridiculous, memey content. They want to have a bit of a phone meeting with me and talk about it, and we'll just kind of see where it goes from there. That's all I can say right now. Moving on from there. Are you familiar with the synthwave group Gunship? If so, what are your thoughts? If not, what's my opinion on synthwave in general? Synthwave can be kind of niche and super formulaic, but you know, if the grooves are great, the synth tones are fantastic, you know, the production is amazing, it could be pretty, it can be like, you know, pretty awesome. So, however, I have not heard that particular artist, you know, so I'm going to have to, I guess, kind of leave this question at that. It's a bitch. What are you doing, dude? What are you doing? Are you rich? Are you rich? Are you fucking rich? Are you rich right now? Are you fucking rich? Blur was better than Oasis. Oasis had 2 great albums. Blur's second to their latest album have been great. Yeah, generally I could probably say I'm more of a Blur guy than an Oasis guy. And yeah, sure, you know, they're pretty much in the same wave and genre of British rock music, but I wouldn't necessarily say that enjoying one or the other is mutually exclusive or anything like that. Hi, Melon. I know he's dropped in quality lately, but would you care to listen to some of Owl City's new album? Personally, no. I don't really care about the new Owl City album. There are other things that I think are more interesting to talk about. Even when Owl City was relevant, there were way more interesting things to talk about, so I'm pretty much going to leave it at that. No real interest in Owl City. You know, I'd rather review like a 21 Pilots album. And that's not a knock against 21 Pilots. To me, they just kind of seem like they're in a similar genre, blurring pop vein, and are a much more eclectic and adventurous group. Have I heard of Gosh Pith? One of the members goes by Yoshi Flower now, and he has released a few singles you should check out if you haven't. Maybe let me know what you think. I have not checked it out, obviously. However, I will try to give that a shot as I have saved it. Let me see. Have I heard of the UK rap soul artist Plan B? He has a new album out, although it is not as good as his older stuff. I have not heard it, although it is kind of disheartening to hear that not as good as the old stuff, but you know, hopefully future endeavors are better. Mr. Looky 81. Mwah, mwah. Thank you. Hey, Ant, new metal band / albums from your youth that have not aged terribly for you. Any thoughts on Fear Factory, Demanufacture, Nothing Face, Audio, Puya, Fundamental, Snot, Self-Titled? The Snot Self-Titled is actually pretty sick. Fear Factory Demanufacture is really good. Also, Obsolete is a great fucking record, which I was trying out when I was, well, not trying out, but listening to again since high school when I was on the road. The deluxe version of that album has an excellent Swans cover on it. But as far as like new metal shit that didn't age that terribly for me, and I'll say rap rock too, because that was super popular when I was a kid and I was listening to a lot of that. You know, definitely System of a Down, definitely Deftones. You know, Slipknot's first couple of records are sick as fuck. You know, Korn's first couple of records have some highlights on them. American Head Charge was pretty cool. Rammstein is still a very good band. Static X, you know, but that's like a more of an industrial metal thing, you know, but their first record had some really good fucking songs on it. Fucking Push It is a sick ass song. Just push it. But yeah, that's I think I'll leave it at that. Did I, yes, I got that. Hey, do I recommend any music that is in the vein of something like Boards of Canada, considering they take such a damn long time to release anything? God. There's this electronic music artist who's on this, I think on this label called Border Community, if I remember correctly. I reviewed his music before, and his shit definitely has a Boards of Canada vibe to it, but I cannot remember his name. If you look up like Board Community or something, maybe you'll find the music label, and maybe you'll find that artist. Is his name Luke Abbott? I think it's Luke Abbott. And not all of his stuff sounds like Boards of Canada. One particular record that's like kind of purpley and blue and psychedelic. Look up that album. Look up that review. You might dig on that. I'm sorry I don't have all the factoids in my head, but there's only so much room in my brain. Drake's career started going on a significant decline after the 2013 release of Nothing Was the Same, arguably his best body of work, and he hasn't dropped anything on par with that album since, and it's definitely showing. I mean, Nothing Was the Same did have some decent tracks on it. I think Take Care was a little better, but I will agree, it kind of has been all downhill since Nothing Was the Same. Wait, hold on a second. Wait. This is Joe Jackson. You should have brought the Living Jackson 5 members on your tour, Anthony. Michael and I chillin' and shit. We squashed the beef. Please, Sonny, what are you on? Moving on from there, Akira is a bitch. Melon, call my gay boyfriend a light to decent 7. Okay, your boyfriend is a light to decent 7. Let's see, Ben Thomas. Any thoughts on prog rock versus prog metal? Do I think one is more up your alley than the other? Yes, most definitely prog rock. I love prog rock bands like King Crimson. Yes. Also, you should check out Gentle Giant. They're good as fuck. Also, Frank Zappa. But prog metal bands like Dream Theater are too pretentious and corny for me. Generally, I would just agree, although I would say Dream Theater's early work, it's actually not that bad. It's not too corny. It's not too overproduced. I would say that it's very much still a prog rock endeavor with kind of like a metal aesthetic. So don't count Dream Theater out entirely. Hey, Anthony, have I heard any decent French electronic artists or just anything from Ed Banger record group? Yeah, I mean, I have heard plenty of Ed Banger stuff, but I've not heard these other artists here that you're suggesting. Hopefully their stuff is newer rather than older, and maybe they have a record out that I can talk about if I enjoy it. Oopsie. There we go. Uh-oh, what the fuck's happening? There we go, wait. There we go. What the fuck? Ugh. God damn it, YouTube. Not even YouTube, it's fucking fuck. Oh, this is so miserable. Get the fuck out of my face. There we go. Sorry, guys, for fucking shitting the bed there for a sec. Ugh. Come on. There we go. All right, come on. Are you serious right now? There we go. What, is this it? Here we go. Come on. Okay, there we go. No, but I have not heard those artists, and I'll just have to kind of take your word that they're good and, hopefully try out some of their stuff at a later date. Thoughts on the 2 new Paul McCartney singles? Am I hyped for the new album? I have not heard the singles. Honestly, I've been totally just checked out of the whole single thing. While I was out on tour, I didn't really hear much of any singles. So I'm just going to have to, try them out when I get a chance this weekend at some point. Also, have I heard Chaos and Creation in the Backyard by Paul from 2005? It's one of my favorites of all time. Love you as always, Richard. Love you back. But I most likely will be trying that out when I do give a listen to the new album, if I decide to review it, because I'll probably need to try some of his latest material. So, again, no thoughts on the Paul McCartney singles, but hopefully I can kind of lay some thoughts down when I do a video, my next best worst tracks video and that sort of thing. Hi, Melon. I want to do music for a living one day, but I don't have any contacts or any real way of getting into the industry or gaining any exposure. Do I think there's a place for people like me if I just keep giving it my all? There is certainly a place for people on the internet to sort of make a name for themselves totally independently from any other musician, music scene, and so on and so forth. However, I'm not going to say that that's easy. It's definitely a slog. It's definitely a competition. It's definitely a drag. And eventually, at some point, you will need to come out of your apartment to kind of network with other people because, how musicians make a lot of their money is that they tour. They collaborate with other musicians. They kind of build a name for themselves. So, I don't know. You can't just kind of live your life, your music life kind of stashed away in whatever apartment that you're living in, assuming it's over in the UK. You're going to have to get out there, and it's not necessarily a bad thing being where you are. I know there are some remote locations in the United Kingdom, but, a lot of things, being that it's a relatively smaller country, are pretty localized. So, get out there. Get out there, buddy. Although, again, if you want to build a name for yourself online, make tracks, upload them everywhere, make sure people have access to them. Grab a DistroKid account, put them up on Spotify, put them up on Apple Music and frickin' Tidal and all that shit, and, just try to get out there, use social media, promote your shit, promote you. No one else is going to do it for you. And send it around to maybe some labels and try to get like some people, backing and printing and supporting your stuff. So, all right, review The Fear of Us right now, putting the rest of Yachts aside. The fear for us. I don't want to review that track for you. I mean, okay, I'll say that I feel like that track is certainly a highlight in the track listing, given that it is a really cool fusion of sort of jazz rock and progressive rock. That super sinister keyboard line is fucking fantastic. I love that kind of repetitive call of the fear. And the lyrics on the album sort of dealing in, phobias and, again, literally fear and, again, just kind of mental instability. I love a lot of things about the track. It is one of my favorite tracks on Yachts. So let me leave it at that. Wait for the review tomorrow, okay? Wait for the review. Sup, did you enjoy any music by Days of the New back in the day, especially their first album? If so, what did I think about it? I don't know how far back in the day is, but personally, I don't really recall that band, those artists, so I can't say Jacob Zion. But still, thank you for supporting and thank you for sending in. But again, I apologize. I've not heard that cut. I've not heard, that record. So I can't say. Wait, I got that. Wait, hold on. Wait. I got that. Do I take issue with DJ Academics? Do I take issue with how DJ Academics makes light of Chief Keef and 6ix9ine threatening to kill each other amongst other street rap beefs, but yet he cries when one of them actually dies? XXX Tentacion. Yeah, I guess there's definitely a disconnect there. DJ Academics, maybe he knows personally, and I know he does know personally 6ix9ine, and maybe he has some kind of insight into the situation that he's not telling us, and he knows that 6ix9ine is just fucking around, and he's just messing around, and it doesn't really mean anything, and it's just a beef for the clout and that sort of thing. So maybe he's not kind of letting us in on that. Although still, I feel like even to sort of be doing a fake beef, you're kind of taking your life in your hands these days, because who the fuck knows who's going to run up on you in the middle of the fucking daylight and just gun you down. So yeah, definitely there is a disconnect there, because how can you truly be sad and remorseful about X passing away and then kind of influence and kind of support behavior and make a mockery of behavior that could potentially lead to that very same fate for another artist or two? So there's a disconnect there, and an unfortunate disconnect, I guess. Only hearing Tanya, and again, I'm sort of just assuming that everything that you've said here is 100% true. And personally, I have not followed what Academic's response to X was, what his response to the Chief Keef and 6ix9ine thing is. So again, I'm sort of partially in the dark here, but if everything you're saying here is true, then it sort of makes sense to me that there is a disconnect there. Only hearing Tanya, do I think Brockhampton's new album will be drastically different than Saturation Trilogy? Well, personally, I would hope that it's different from the Saturation Trilogy. I feel like the sound of those records is pretty particular, and they staled it out a little bit with 3 full albums. I'm kind of hoping that they find a way to break it up and try some new shit on their forthcoming record. I would love it for them to mix in some tracks that aren't nearly as mellow, but I do think that track is really beautiful. So, I'm hoping for a different album. I'm hoping for a different experience. So yeah, that's all I have to say. And I still think there will be a hype banger or two, but at the end of the day, what's most important is that the entire flow of the album is great and the record as a whole functions. My personal top 5 rappers are Black Thought, great pick. Andre 3000, amazing pick, which not enough people talk about in the GOAT discussion because, he's a part of a duo. Fuck you, he's amazing. Biggie, Nas, and MF Doom, what's yours? I would definitely say Andre's in there. I would definitely say Ghostface is in there. I would definitely say... who else is fucking in there? I'd probably throw Chuck D in there. I'd probably throw MF Doom in there. Who else would I put in there? Who else would I put in that bitch? I guess Biggie could go in there too. Me being an East Coaster. The Carters was everything I wanted Nasir to be. Trendy yet creative production. Jay and Bey venturing into a new direction that didn't sound forced. Is it over for Nas? I myself am excited to review the new Jay and Bey next week when I get a chance, so I am looking forward to that. Is it over for Nas? I feel like Nas could come out with a great record again if you really wanted to. He has the experience, he has the skill, he has the ability, he has the pen game, but does he really have anything at this point to say, and does he really care? At this point, I think Nas is just kind of content to continue being rich and successful, and, unfortunately right now, he's at the point in his career where the demand that his project be amazing, the demand that his project be fucking perfect, the demand that his project compete with the new wave and excel past it isn't really there. You know what I mean? And you could hear it in the lyrics on the album when he's like, oh, they want me to sound like I'm top 40. All this old shit. Buh. You're kind of checked out at that point and just kind of making music for, old heads, and that's it. Sure, Kanye's production made it a little more interesting than it would have been otherwise, but and it's a passable album. It's not an awful listen, but whatever. With the new Black Thought EP, a Nas album, and new Jay and Beyonce album out, do I think hip-hop is taking a step away from the youth and allowing artists a possibility for a longer shelf life in rap? I mean, if you want to, there's always been the opportunity to have a long shelf life in hip-hop music. The problem is that most artists are just content to jump on top of whatever the trend is, whatever the new sensation is. A lot of people aren't really worried about the long game and are trying to jump in, make a quick buck, and jump out. Honestly, I think that also partially has to do with a lot of artists out there don't have the desire nor the artistic ability to make a project that people are going to want to listen to 10, 15, 20 years from now. Thankfully, there are some artists out there who are doing that very thing. I think Kendrick is certainly an example of that. But a lot of people would just rather do what's easy and listen to what's easy, and that's just kind of the way it fucking goes, I guess. Why me? Yeah, you're going to hear me scream that in the new Death Grips review. Believe me, Brian. Thank you. Ow! Moving on from there, Chris Davies asks, thank you very much. Have I heard the math rock band Chan? What are your thoughts on math rock in general? Old school, grimy, sort of off-kilter math rock is fucking awesome. A lot of the newer, more progressive, flashy, super clean, sanitary stuff, it doesn't do all that much for me. Although I really do like that band Tricot. Their last few singles have been fantastic, and I'm thinking about reviewing their latest LP at some point. But Chan is one of those groups whose sound is just a little bit too, calculated to me. It doesn't really do a whole lot for me. However, I do respect the talent and the musicianship. Hey Melon, asked you about Miles Davis' album a couple of weeks ago called Sorcerer. Any updates? What did I think about it? I haven't even had a chance to listen to it. I've been on tour for the past week and a half, and I've not really been listening to anything outside of a few high school and college faves while I was in the car, and records that I had to review as soon as I got back home. So I have not heard that record. I apologize, and I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to do that in the near future, because I am still basically trying to process the J and Bey, Serpent with Feet, J-Rock, Nine Inch Nails, and there's going to be Gorillaz on my lap soon. I want to give the new Dance Gavin Dance a listen. Drake is going to be in my lap. That's a double album. The Kamasi Washington is going to be in my lap. That's 2.5 hours. So I apologize if I don't get the chance to go back and listen to that album. But still, Blue M&M, thank you very much for supporting and asking. Where did Ye and Kids See Ghosts place on your Kanye worst to best list? I mean, Kids See Ghosts is obviously going to be somewhere toward the very top. I mean, pretty much right next to Graduation and College Dropout. However, it is a collaborative record, so I wouldn't even really put it in my Kanye worst to best. To me, it's an entirely different experience from any other Kanye album. However, Ye, I would probably place just underneath or around Graduation. Obviously not as great as T-Lop. That would go over Graduation, the new version. But Ye would probably place somewhere in that same realm. Under T-Lop, maybe under Graduation, and I would leave it at that. John Harris, no real question. Just wanted to say thanks for all the music you review, helping people find and explore music they haven't heard, i.e. the new Sophie album for me especially. Pony Boy is a banger. Yes, it is. Pony Boy. Ooh, I'm a dirty pony boy. Moving on from there. What was your favorite stop on the tour and why was it Asbury Park? That was a fun stop. That was a very fun stop. It is true. And I'm glad that you came out there. What was the, I'm trying to remember the needledrop.com/tour. Was the, which one? Was that Jam and Java? No, it was the Asbury Music Foundation. Okay, Jam and Java was Vienna. The Asbury Music Foundation. Yeah, that wasn't a bad one. Although I will say it is, I'm trying to think of like everything that exactly happened during that date. And it's so funny because even though it's in like the very immediate past, it's all still very much like a blur for me in some ways. Let's see, moving on from there. Okay, two things, says Charles Comfort, and thank you very much for the generous donation. Holy shit. Someone asked this, but it got lost. One, will I review the new Georgia Smith album? It's most likely going to get a not review, why you know review. I don't really think it's that special of a listen. To me, it just kind of sounds like a vague Rihanna singing over, like, I don't know, Lauryn Hill instrumentals. Like, if that album slips into the background for me, it just kind of sounds like Rihanna. Like, the vocals and singing and the instrumentals are obviously classier than your average, contemporary or sort of trap-flavored R&B album these days. But to me, the tunes, some of them are just okay. The vocals are just okay. I'm not really kind of getting what all the hubbub is about for some people. It's just an all right project. To me, there are more interesting records out there in the genre, but I guess that's just me. Aaron Duchesne, hey fan Thanos, that's a good one. What's your opinion on Boredoms? Their album Vision, Creation, New Sun, Super AE, both classics for me. Maybe VC on top, Super AE, but just a little IMO. Super AE is sick as fuck. Although I haven't really heard the band's entire discography, I have to admit. What's that other record of theirs that I fucking enjoy? That's it, Chocolate Synthesizer. That album is fun as fuck. It's not one of their best, but it is kind of ridiculous. And there is a weird EP of theirs that I remember back in the day I bought just like out of pure chance, and it just like fucking blew my mind because it was sort of heavy and noisy as fuck. Super Roots 5. I was at a fucking record store and I was like, Boredoms, Super Roots 5. It's in a weird like experimental music CD box. Okay. And at the time I just really had no fucking clue what to make of it. In retrospect, I now know that it's not like the best Super Roots, but at the time it was like, definitely a weird moment for me. Let's see. Brian Barrett, what are your thoughts on the future of Cuddy? Is he somewhat of an anomaly, given that you rated him both 0 out of 10 and a 10? Yes, I would say that's most definitely an anomaly. The only way that could be repeated is if immediately after, Angelic to the Core, Corey Feldman essentially drops like an 11 out of 10 album. And then Corey Feldman would essentially become the new GOAT, and he would change the face of music, and we would all have to bow to him because he would be the new president and the ruler of the free world. God bless Corey Feldman. I wish he would let me into his live shows. Corey, you're a piece of shit. All right. But as far as the future for Cuddy, I don't really know at this point. I feel like, again, the greatness of both artists on KSG was very much dependent on that collaboration. Are they going to collaborate again in the future? I don't know. It certainly would be interesting, although I'm not anticipating it's going to happen anytime soon. Yeah, that's all I have. That's all I have to say. Somebody's asking if I'm going to review the new Johnny Marr album. I have to admit, most likely not. Most likely not. What do I think of Ninja Sex Party and Starbomb? You've seemed to never say anything about these projects. I've not heard Starbomb. Ninja Sex Party I don't think is very funny, and they came out with that really awful covers album lately. It's just like a lick for lick cover of a bunch of tracks. It was like completely unnecessary. I did not get the appeal of it at all. But Ninja Sex Party I just don't really find entertaining at all, unfortunately. Just don't really think the humor is all that great. I think the instrumentals are kind of bland, but hey, you don't got to like every fucking thing that I like. So, Eat Babies. Thank you very much. Hey, Melon, Love and respect you greatly for all of the new music you exposed me to. Was seriously digging Timber Timbre at your recommendation. Just wondering, though, what are my top 5 favorite EDM albums? Let's see. Probably Discovery is one of them. Cross is another. What are my other favorite EDM albums? EDM of fucking all time. Like, how limited are we here? Are we talking, like, does IDM not count? It can't be like underground or something like that. EDM, it's got to be super, catchy, like electronic dance music. Probably like as far as like EDM stuff, probably like a Basement Jaxx album in there. I think Homework is really fantastic too. I don't know. I'm going to leave it at that. Melon, why so harsh on the new Gorillaz? And do I at least agree that Now is Def's shaping up to be at least better than Humans? I do think it does have the chance to be better than Humans for sure. I just think the new singles have been kind of boring, honestly. However, I thought a few of the Death Grips albums on Death Grip singles were on Yachts were really boring going into it. So I don't know. I could change my mind listening to it. So let's wait until the review. Give me a chance to review the shit. Give me a chance for that review, okay? Okay, give me the chance on the review. Give me the chance. Okay, give me the shot. I might surprise you. on the review. Okay, so give me that shot. Give me that chance. Might grow on me. Might end up liking it. And even if I don't like it, even if I shit all over the record, even if I fucking beat the shit out of that album, review-wise, not physically, not violently, and that's not what I mean, but even if I beat that record into a pulp, I'm going to have some reasoning for it, okay? I'm going to give you an actual reason as to why I don't like the album. So, can't make a final call on anything until the album is out. So, I'm just kidding. I'm not a violent person. I love everyone, okay? I'm just breaking balls. Let's see. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Ow! Hey, Melon. I was on a compilation called A View from Mount Seldom and got word you were interested in covering it. Yes, I do have the cassette. It is right here in front of me, and it has been staring me in the face for the past month, and I probably would have reviewed it earlier, but then I went on tour and I got distracted, so it is still in front of me. It's staring me in the face. Every day I wake up, I go to work, I get in front of this computer, and it's like, Anthony, review me, please review me. So I am still thinking about it. And I haven't heard the entire thing yet. So I hear it's very good. I am considering it. It is on the docket. It is on my calendar, but it has gotten pushed back because of all the backlog and everything else. So there we go. And, good job getting on this comp. Again, I hear it's very good. All right, being someone that plans on reviewing music, what's some basic advice that you can give, both editing and being a critic? P.S. How did Corey Feldman ban you from live shows? He did it over Twitter. He said that I'm not allowed at the live shows, and if he sees me at a live show, he would kick me out, which is unfortunate because all those motherfuckers that show up to your live shows are my fans, bitch. They're my fans, and they're enjoying your live shows. They're putting ticket money in your pocket. The least you could do is let me come to a show. All right, moving on from there. Editing, critique, advice. Look, you got to get your bearings. You got to know the ropes. You got to listen to a lot of records. You got to gain that experience, and it's only going to come with time. It's only going to come after many panic attacks where you're like, why am I doing this? What am I doing with my life? What the fuck is the point of this? I want to give up. I want to throw in the towel. It's only going to come after you've had that experience again and again and again and again and wanted to end your life. So look, it's not an easy trip, okay? And then once you've got that, what you're going to need is a series of quality reviews. You're going to need a back catalog and consistency. You are nothing without consistency. If you're not there constantly engaging your fan base, your viewership with a new video, a new piece of content, a new something, you might as well be throwing all of your efforts out the fucking window. So be consistent, always be dropping reviews, and just always be on your game, always be on your grind. That is my advice if you want to do this and make headway into it. And have your own voice, curate, okay? Have your own fucking opinion. And when you go into a review, don't read or listen to any other opinions. I'm not saying don't take outside feedback or anything like that, but if before you do your review, you've read 10 other fucking reviews, what's the fucking chance you're going to have an original goddamn thought in your head? you know? So, I mean, if you really want to read other reviews, maybe do so after you've done yours. But that's the thing. Like, once you start doing reviews formally, you're probably going to have to stop watching mine. Or at least, you should probably cut back a little bit or wait until you've done your review or something, but whatever. Rap Critic, during his Going Off podcast, gave The Money Store a 0 out of 5 and Revival a 4 out of 5. Your thoughts? That's a fucking travesty. Revival a 4 out of 5? Yeah, I really don't know what to say about that. I don't know. It's disappointing, I guess. Have I listened to Panda Bear's A Day with the Homies or Maddie's new album? I have not. I'm not really all that interested in Anco solo stuff these days, frankly. Also, are you an Animal Collective fan? Do I have a fave of theirs? I do love Strawberry and Sung Tongs quite a bit. Those are two of my favorites. But Fields of Merriweather are fantastic too. But I'm not so much a hardcore fan that I listen to like all or like even most of the solo stuff. Like the biggest solo records I've heard, but I'm not really all that crazy about a lot of them, honestly. Let's see. Top 5 this year for me. Young Fathers. Disagree with you on this one. That's fair. Kids See Ghosts. St. John's Collection one. I was trying that out and I thought it was okay. Dessa's Chime and Leon Bridges. Haven't seen your thoughts on 3 through 5. I haven't talked about any of those. I don't know if I'm going to get to them. I do have a lot on my plate, and I guess we'll just kind of see. I guess we'll just kind of see. All right, moving on from there. Just kind of wrote myself a reminder about the Leon Bridges because I did think about covering that at one point. Hi, Anthony. Would I ever review the first two 21 Pilots records? Most likely not, as I don't really go back and review a whole lot of old stuff if I happen to have missed it. Both are fantastic and much more coherent than Blurry Face. Also, my friend told you at the Atlanta event to say they suck. Love you. Yes, they bullied me into that. So they totally bullied me into that. So I apologize if they used that to break your balls. Okay. It wasn't from the heart. They said, "Hey man, you got to say this." And I was like, okay, whatever, fuck it. Looks like we have 50 minutes left. Melon, have I ever listened to Blackie, all caps, spaces, from Houston, I have. Some of the early stuff is pretty sick. I remember a whole lot of comparisons to Death Grips early on, or, rather vice versa. And I actually saw him live at South by Southwest once. Me and my wife were watching a Blackie live set. And dude was literally just like knocking cups out of people's hands and rolling in the dirt in the fucking parking lot that we were outside of the building of. And it was pretty cool. It was definitely one of the live highlights of that South. I think it was my first South by with Dominique that we went to there. It was pretty cool. Okay, here we go. Is Aesop Rock comparable to MF Doom and other greats? Will his abstract figurative language heavy style live on in hip hop? Will there be another artist that kind of takes that reins and sort of moves forward with it? I'm not really sure. I mean, honestly, I think when Aesop Rock passes away, he's a one of a kind artist. He's a once in a generation artist. If there is another person like him, it's going to come long after. There's always going to be room for that kind of sound and style in the underground. It's probably not going anywhere entirely. But do I think he's comparable to Doom? Personally, I think they're totally different artists. Travis, thank you very much. I'm an author of short stories. I was wondering what some of your favorite novels, short story collections are. I've been a fan for years. Thank you very much. Prolific output, so on and so forth. Thank you very much, Travis. Personally, I'm just kind of a fan of weird Kurt Vonnegut short stories. Those are pretty fantastic. But outside of that, I'm not much of a literature nerd. I'm not much of a literature Dorcas Malorcas. When it comes to literature, I'm not very lit. A lot of my reading is, either news or historical or, political stuff. Maybe like a philosophical reading here and there, but I'm not much of a literature dork. I'm more of a music nerd, and that's where I butter my bread. Whoever dropped this 30, thank you very much. Very generous. Appreciate you. Brian Barrett, again, thank you very much. I don't think you ever officially reviewed Burial Untrue. I didn't. Maybe you... No, I did not review it. I think that... Did that drop in... let me see. That dropped just before the Needle Drop came out, I think. Let me verify that. I could be totally wrong on that. That record either came out in 2007 or 2009, and I think, it came out in 2007. That was before I was even on YouTube. Again, I apologize for missing that one. But, you know, it is a very good album, and I'm just going to have to leave it at that. Maybe one day I'll go back and cover it. In fact, once 2019 is up, okay, here's a bit of a preview here. Once 2019 is up, I do plan on doing a best albums of the decade video. Okay, so there will be a best albums of the decade for the decade that I've done reviews for the entire decade. And then at some point, I would actually like to do a best albums of the 2000s. Okay, at some point, I would like to do that. Since I lived through the 2000s, I listened to music pretty dedicatedly throughout the 2000s, and have a pretty strong vibe for what I think was great and not so great throughout that decade. You know, and honestly, like how many publications out there have done such a list up until this point? I think some have, you know, but being somebody who came of age during that time period, came of age during that era, I think that's a passage in music time that once this decade is up, well, like a lot of those records are going to be turning classic at that point. So, you know, why not celebrate them? Why not go back? Why not do a little bit of a retrospective? It'll be necessary at that point. Ghost, Meliora, rank on your best rock albums of the last 5 years. Has Prequel grown on you? Love the channel. Prequel not grown on me so much yet, but I still think it's a great record. As far as Meliora goes, I do think it is one of the best rock albums of the decade, honestly. Where would it rank? Like maybe in my top 10? I don't know. I would have to like do a final recount on that, but I do think it's in the top 10, at least the top 20. Moving on from there. Thoughts on the Sad music video? I haven't watched it, although I don't really watch that many music videos to begin with, so I apologize for that, Will, but still thank you for supporting. Tiana Taylor album, I have not heard it yet, but I do plan on covering it. I'm a little backlogged on albums since I was gone on tour, but again, it is planning on being covered. Junior, thank you very much. What are your thoughts on Mono, and what is your favorite Mono album? Mono did have some really great third wave post-rock records back in the day, although as I've kind of grown a bit colder to the third wave sound, I'm not as crazy about some of the releases of theirs that I used to love. Like, you know, I gave a super positive review back in the early days of the channel to frickin' Hymn of the Immortal Wind, and it is a pretty amazing record in some respects. But again, I'm not as crazy about it these days personally, or really much of what they've dropped past that point. Honestly, I feel like post-rock has had a hard time kind of struggling and finding its footing in this decade. But as far as like their better stuff, that early Zadig record that they did is actually pretty decent. And geez, I can't really recall any other album of theirs that I've heard outside of like You Are There, which again, pretty good like for the era of post-rock that it's in. But is it like the most necessary era of post-rock? Honestly, like outside of their debut record, after I initially found out about their stuff, I haven't tried a lot of their other material. So I'm going to have to kind of like refrain on kind of commenting on any deeper than that. Why do you enjoy extreme/experimental music from bands such as Sun and Swans? To me, what's interesting about music and having heard so much music is you really kind of get to a point where you want to hear something that's so different and outside of the norm that like it's just a truly unique sound that nobody else out there is making. For me, what sort of is the draw for bands like Sun or Earth or Swans is that who the fuck else sounds like that? I mean, sure, you could say that there are a lot of other artists out there who, since they got popular, have copied their shit. But really, honestly, like, where else are you going to hear that shit? And especially in the case of the Sun, not the Sun, but rather Sun, where else are you going to get that musical experience? Have you ever seen Sun live? Have you ever had them basically with a series of amplifiers in front of you, basically almost like cave your fucking skull in? Believe me, like it's an amazing musical experience. If you see Sun live, grab some earplugs, get right up front, get rocked for 2 fucking hours straight, and then you'll have an answer to that question. Oh, that's why he likes that experimental music. It's fucking transcendent. It just fucking changed my whole outlook on music. Like, there's more to fucking music than like, hey, quarter notes, groove, drums, bass, guitars, somebody singing. Like, there's more to fucking music than that. There's more to sound than that. Like, if that's all that sound was, if that's all that popular music, all that accessible music was, fuck. You know, it's basically like, I don't know, just reading Harry Potter your entire fucking life. You know, it's good, but come the fuck on. Like, there's experimental and interesting and odd and totally out there literature out there that's way more adventurous and challenging and interesting. So You can't just watch fucking Pulp Fiction your entire life, okay? Sometimes you got to watch some French New Wave shit or some Lars von Trier. All right. Ever given the older car seat headrest albums a listen? Yeah, I mean, I did back when Will's kind of stuff initially was popping on Bandcamp. Wasn't super crazy about it until, teens, as I said in my teens review. So, hoping my question actually shows this time. I apologize to anybody whose question is kind of disappearing. They only stay up for a certain amount of time, and there are a lot of questions to get to. So again, I apologize. I paid for it before and it ran out of time. Would I ever review the older Nine Inch Nails albums, Fragile and Downward specifically? I could see a Downward classic review happening at some point in the future, and I will have to leave it at that. But again, thank you very much, Harry Hogg. DJ Al Gore says, best Beatles album. Excuse me. My favorite Beatles albums personally are White Album and Abbey Road. And I could see an Abbey Road classic review at some point. Anyone in Brasilia, Brazil want to make a weird pop band? Look for Danilo Gondim on Facebook. I play bass and piano. Would love to make some music. Whoa, that's really cool. That's really cool. I hope that this person in Brazil finds a bandmate. This is actually probably a good place to find a bandmate if you're looking for such a thing. So yeah, if you're looking for a bandmate over in Brazil, hit this person up. All right, next, what are my favorite films and or video games? We've heard your opinions on music for so long, and I'd love to hear about some other art you love. I really love, let's see, I have some basic-ass movie tastes, but, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is great. 28 Days Later is great. There Will Be Blood, No Country for Old Men, all the, 80s and 90s classics that I remember as a kid. I mean, pretty much all those, cultural movie touchstones, the Indiana Joneses and the Star Wars and, E.T. and Home Alone and fucking all that shit. Groundhog's Day. Again, if it's a major movie from the 80s or 90s, Terminator 2, Alien, I probably grew up watching it. The Thing, I probably grew up watching it and enjoying it. Jason, fucking Child's Play, all that fucking shit. As far as newer cinema goes, I don't see a whole lot of newer movies lately, unfortunately, although I did really like The Shape of Water. I feel like that definitely deserved the award that it got. Although, again, what the fuck do I know? I'm such a movie pleb. And I thought the new It movie was pretty good. I mean, there were points where it was kind of corny, but the kids' acting was pretty sick, and a lot of the visual effects were pretty fucking awesome. But I'm going to have to leave it at that. Thoughts on the new Vane record? I will be reviewing it. I do plan on reviewing it. Thank you very much, Brendan Jones, for thinking about it, but I haven't listened to it enough to really kind of comment on it right now. What's my opinion on modern pop punk? I have some friends that love it, but personally, I don't get it. Am I alone in that opinion? Pop punk is pretty great. Do I think newer contemporary pop punk is as good as the classic stuff, like Screeching Weasel, or even the stuff during the late 90s and the 2000s when it was at its commercial peak, like Green Day? No, not necessarily, but I wouldn't discount pop punk entirely. Am I going to review Mike Shinoda's Post Traumatic? I'm probably going to Why You Know review it. I listened to it. I don't like it. I don't care for it. I really have no interest in it. I mean, I appreciate, the guy's very frank feelings and kind of coming forward with, again, literally the trauma that he's been dealt as a result of seeing, such a close friend of his pass away so suddenly and in such a horrible fashion. But personally, I really have no interest in the record outside of just kind of listening to a little bit of it, just kind of get, a bit of an idea of, just how he's kind of putting this trauma that he suffered into art. But outside of that, I didn't like the rapping. I didn't like his word choice. I didn't like the instrumentals. I really didn't like much about the album at all. And, I'm just not trying to come in here and be shitting all over the super negative experience that he's trying to make a record out of. So yeah, I just don't really have that much interest in the record personally. On your channel, you group loud rock together. On a personal note, what is my favorite genre in the area? What is your favorite genre in that area? Why? Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's not a term that a lot of people use, but when I was in college radio, it was a term that we used. It was a term that we used when we kind of like participated in the CMJ. So it was sort of like a metal and loud rock chart or category. Maybe it's something that's just kind of stuck with me as a result of that. And that's pretty much it. So, I mean, genres in that area to me include like metal and all extreme subgenres, punk, hardcore, and that sort of thing. Yeah, I'm gonna just, I mean, that's pretty much, what that means to me. That's what that umbrella is. And as far as like what my favorite genre in that area is, I mean, I don't know, maybe like thrash metal or doom metal or sludge metal or that sort of thing. That's very much my vibe. Although I like punk music too, although I haven't heard a lot of newer punk music. That's kind of been my favorite. But Chris Owen, what are my thoughts on the Dismemberment Plan Emergency? And it's a good record, but it's kind of overrated. Like, it's all over the fucking place. Not every song is fantastic. The songs that are on there that are good are great. I much prefer bands like Q and Not You, in my opinion. Came into my life a year ago and has quickly become so important. Also, Everything is Fine and KSG are my best albums of 2018 so far. Those are two. Everything is Fine. Certainly KSG is definitely one of my favorite albums of 2018 thus far, obviously. But I am going to be doing a video at the end of the month of my favorite albums of 2018 so far. And I really don't know all the records that are going to be popping up in that so far. So, just kind of give me some time. JPEG Mafia is definitely going to be in there. I'll say that. Moving on from there, your opinion on Les Rallies, a classic Japanese band who inspired Boredom's Boris. I honestly have not even heard them, so I just have to save this and try it out later. I cannot say I apologize, Pikachu. But thank you very much for supporting and asking. Let's see. R.I.P. Joe Rogan. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. I don't think Joe Rogan has passed away. Although if that is in fact true and I find that out when I get off of this live stream, I'm going to be pretty fucking sad about that. Super Drewster, favorite Frank Zappa album, Solo with Mothers, favorite Melvins album. Favorite Melvins album, probably either Houdini or like Stoner Witch. And as far as Zappa, I don't know, what's Solo, what's with the Mothers? I sort of forget. It's sort of, confusing to me at this point. But, of course I love Hot Rats. Apostrophe is fantastic. Did It for the Money is amazing. Freak Out is fantastic. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Also, what's that fucking album cover with the couch on it? That record is great as well. Overnight Sensation, is that it? I hope it is. Trying to look for more punk rock albums. I mostly only listen to King Gizzard and Swain. Also, Aesop Rock is amazing. I think I think like Doom, he's kind of a staple to abstract rap, though way different material. Yes, I do agree. He is an abstract rap staple. Trying to look for more rock punk albums. I mostly listen to, rock and punk bands that you should try. Listen to Television, Marquee Moon. Listen to Dead Kennedys, Plastic Surgery Disasters. Listen to The Vibrators. Listen to Richard Hell. Listen to the Stooges discography, like first 3 or 4 records. Listen to The Velvet Underground. Listen to King Crimson. Listen to Sonic Youth, Daydream Nation. Listen to Drive Like Jehu, Yank Crime. Listen to Blood Brothers. They're really great. They had some amazing albums back in the day. Listen to Against Me. Listen to Kveller Talk. Listen to Bauhaus. Listen to Joy Division. I'm just kind of throwing bands at your face. Hopefully you listen to some of them. Next, hope you listen to my band's debut EP when it comes out. Just played our second gig ever alongside Sepultura 3 weeks ago. That's pretty epic. It's pretty epic, fucking playing with Sepultura. We're Behold the Abyss from Brazil. We hope you hear more from us soon. Okay, I'll check that out later if I get a chance. Can I still get us to feel the love? No, I cannot. I cannot feel love anymore. I'm sorry. Last message ran out of time. My question was, what are your thoughts on Bathory? More specifically, your thoughts on Hammerheart, their best album. I can't recall. I've heard a cursory bit of that band. I mean, they're a pretty great and classic black metal group, but admittedly, they're not a group I've heard every record from. So I'm fucking up on that one, Anders. So I apologize. 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 I do love me some Mayhem. I do love me some Dark Throne. I do love me some Gorgoroth. But Bathory is a band that I have not familiarized myself enough with, unfortunately. So, again, I apologize to the black metal gods. One day I will come up your way, Northern Europe, and I will do a black metal pilgrimage, and I'll do all that shit. Top 10 new wave albums go, not a fucking chance. Off the top of my head, Power, Corruption, and Lies, fucking Power, Corruption, and Lies, Power, Corruption, and Lies, Power, Corruption, and Lies, and Power, Corruption, and Lies. That's probably the best you're going to get out of me. 1 hour, or rather 8:30, so 30 minutes left on this, an hour and a half into a live stream at 10 o'clock at night, where I'm partially getting to the point where I'm burnt out. Next, and I apologize. David Losi. Am I hyped for the new Pig Destroyer? Fuck yes, I am. Also, Peep, Ways of Confusion by Sissy Spacek. Tasty Noise Grind coming in July. Pissgrave level nasty. Ooh, Pissgrave levels of nasty. My interest is piqued. Nexty. Why doesn't Bell and Sebastian Fold Your Hands, Child, get more love? It's a great record. I don't know. It's probably just overshadowed by... if you're feeling Sinister and Arab Strap and all that stuff. But, that's all. Unfortunately, not every band's greatest records get appreciated in retrospect. But Joe Rogan's not dead. The trolls were trying to see if it was possible for a melon to have a heart attack. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, it is probably possible for a melon to have a heart attack. That is true. I do think melons are capable of heart attacks, but you'd have to... do a little bit more than, leave a questionable, whoa, so-and-so is dead super chat, in the, in the box over here. You'd probably have to drop $1,000 super chat. I don't think you can drop $1,000 super chat, which is part of the reason why it would give me like a heart attack. Not even 1,000. You have to drop a $220,000 super chat and tell me that, You'd have to tell me Nick Cave is dead. $250,000. Nick Cave is dead. And I guarantee I'll have a heart attack right here. Okay. But, since he's alive and you can't give that much money, it's not going to happen. Third time I pay, but don't want, you to run out of money. You late on meme reviews. Plus you look exactly like the melons I farm on my Minecraft server. I hope it's a Christian Minecraft server and there's no swearing allowed. But yes, I am late on meme reviews, as the meme review currently right now isn't happening. So yeah, I'm pretty late on meme reviews. However, maybe. LMA boot up. Okay. Thank you, Daniel. Mwah. Next. Why do you ignore West Side Gun 2018 LP EP? He's elevating the grimy, prestigious art rap. PS Bus Driver Album of the Year, IMO, and Vindaloo Arm & Hammer. Thoughts? Vindaloo Arm & Hammer. Is that, I haven't even checked that out yet. So, I guess it was probably something that 22 days ago. Yeah, I guess it just kind of slipped by me. So I can't even say, I haven't even heard it. West. All right, I'm going to leave that there at that and hopefully try to check that out later and remind myself. But yeah, West Side Gun stuff that I heard so far is okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's not blowing me away. It's not the most special or interesting thing that I've ever heard, but hey, maybe I need to try it out again and maybe it'll grow on me. Who the fuck knows? I love you, J. Colton Cox. Thank you very much. I love you back. I love you back. Next. Have you ever delved into any of the new halftime genre that's been popping up lately? The group Ivy Lab are the head of it. Should check it out. I've not heard of what the hell halftime is, but I guess I'll give it a shot. Maybe it'll be the most cutting edge thing I've heard. Maybe it will be the most gimmicky thing I've ever heard. We'll see. Just re-listened to Strung Out's Suburban Teenage Wasteland Blues, one of my favorite albums of the 90s. Thoughts on it? I have not listened to it or re-listened to it, so honestly, I cannot say. I'll have to save that suggestion and try it out at a later date. Michael C. Yeah, that's not even a group I'm familiar with, so I'm just going to have to apologize for my lack of knowledge on 90s groups. Have I heard the new Hylumergia in his classical instrument? Kamasi Washington recommended it to in his What's My Bag episode. I have not heard it, unfortunately, but again, you know, as far as the Kamasi goes, I am planning on covering that, and I probably should go back and check out his record. Although I did hear that new record from him, you know, that new weird psychedelic Ethiopian jazz record. I think I talked about it in a Why You Know review, and I thought it was just okay. But I've not gone back. So I can't say. Technique is New Order's best album, but they've never made a song as emotionally potent as Age of Consent. Agree/disagree. Favorite New Order LP? Personally, my favorite is Power, Corruption, and Lies. However, I do think there is an argument to say that it could be Technique, it could be Brotherhood. However, Age of Consent is their best fucking song, period. Listen to No BS, Brass, their incredible and blend rock, funk, and jazz. Also, Mezzanine deserves a classic review. Maybe it does. And I will try to give a listen to No BS. I assume they're new. I hope they're new. Please be on Hot Ones. Notice Sean wearing the melon shirt in the Casey Neistat video. Yes, Sean and me are pretty chill. He was a very nice man to wear that shirt in that video, and I appreciate his soul and existence very deeply. As far as being on Hot Ones, listen, like I'm not preventing myself from being on Hot Ones, okay? If I get a call one day, if I get a call on the phone, okay, and you could tell this to Sean, you could fucking tell Sean Evans this shit, okay? If I get a call, even if it's at 3 a.m., if I pick up my phone, it says Sean Evans. I'm going to pick up the phone. I'm going to say, hello, what's going on? And he's going to say, hey, Anthony Fantano, Sean Evans here. And I'm going to be like, what's up, Sean? What's going on, dude? And if he says to me, hey, man, I want you to be on an episode of Hot Ones, I'm going, bam! I'm being on that episode of Hot Ones, okay? I'm being on that episode, okay? Nothing's stopping me, as far as me goes, from being on Hot Ones, okay? If I get the call, if I get the question, I'll be on that shit, okay? And look, Sean runs a show. He has producers. He has a budget. He has everything. You know, he knows me. If he wants me on the show, he'll hit me up. I don't got to be like, Sean, please let me on Hot Ones. Please, 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 please. He will ask me when he feels like asking me. So, all right. If he ever feels like asking me. And if he never feels like asking me, that's fine too, because he's a good guy. So, I want to make an album on the stages of grief under the pseudonym Daddy Longneck. I want to make up for the horrible stuff I've done, mix of glitch hop, indie rock, girlfriend dumped me on prom, RIP. Okay, well, I wish you good luck in your artistic and musical endeavors, and I hope that you get over your heartbreak, and it sucks that you got dumped on prom. You are loved, and I hope that you get past this rough patch. Cursed comfort. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Favorite Deftones album? Probably The White Pony. My friend thinks that if To Pimp a Butterfly was split into half, there would be two separate albums. They'd be better than Damn. Tell him why he's wrong, please. Yeah, I can't imagine what the hell To Pimp a Butterfly would even fucking sound like if it were split into two records. Sounds like you'd just be making two lesser albums. Moving on from there. Come on, YouTube. Why are you fucking this up? Or it's probably my browser. Hey, Jenny, that second try sending the question. Thoughts on the Electric Light Orchestra? Favorite album by them. Love you. Keep up the good shit. Not a very huge ELO expert, although I do like some Jeff Lynne solo stuff hilariously. Also, that Traveling Wilderberries record is very interesting too. That I got an amazing recommendation for that in a previous live stream. But again, not a big ELO guy, I guess. I mean, I've tried some songs here and there, but I'm not like an expert in their discog or anything. Also, Danilo Gondim, thank you very much. Appreciate you. And I'm sleeping hard on Echo Chamber by MC Paul Barman. It's one of the best underground rap records of the decade and has a career high Open Mike Eagle feature. The Open Mike Eagle features on that record are pretty sick. However, I just personally find his delivery and the album annoying. I get that it's unique. I get that it's his style. I get that he's been doing it for a long time. I get that he's a one-of-a-kind artist, but I just find it really corny and gimmicky. It just kind of seems like, I don't know, Watsky, but it doesn't make me want to throw up, you know? I don't know. Sorry, you know, but I'm just not really that into it. All right, next, do I think a solo piano album is viable for my upper grade levels? Possibly, sure. Do I think even a solo piano album of new music would sound good? I mean, potentially. I remember back in the day, I used to love this ambient like solo piano record from an artist who recorded music under the name The Library Tapes. And that record to me was like super excellent. And again, that was just pretty much like a solo piano record. So, I mean, why not? I got 15. Oh, wait, I'm 15, got 2 tapes. Gay Flore, GI Fiore on the cloud. Can you tell me if it's complete garbage? I don't know if I should continue. I want to learn to produce. Love your stuff. Look, continue if you like doing it. Continue if you're having fun and you have a desire to create. Okay, I can't even if I came in and said, "Hey, dude, your music is shit. This is the shittiest music I've ever heard. This is the worst fucking music I've ever heard in my entire life." Even if I said that, if making music makes you happy and you're not doing it at the sacrifice of your ability to live, like, you know, you go to your job, you know, you're 15, but, you know, you get a job, you go to your job, you pay your bills, you know, you're a functional human being. You know, as long as doing music isn't getting in the way of you being a functional human being, there's no reason to stop. Do it as long as you love doing it. Just fucking do it. Connor Farrell. I know you reviewed the English Riviera way back when it came out, but have I listened to Metronomy's follow-up albums, Love Letters and Summer '08? I did listen to Love Letters. Did I Why You Know review, or did I formally review it? I think I formally reviewed it. I wasn't that into it, was kind of underwhelmed by it. Have not heard Summer '08, though, I don't think. And if I tried it, it must have been erased from my memory. So thank you, Connor. Danilo, thanks for the amazing live stream. Had a great time. The next post will be recommending a few of my favorite Brazilian bands. Check them out. Okay. What the hell? Come on. My shit's freezing up, probably because I have so much shit open. But what are my thoughts on Highly Suspect? One of my favorite up-and-coming rock bands. Wait, my favorite up-and-coming. Looking forward to seeing what they... Are they even up-and-coming at this point? I mean, I don't care for them. I think their stuff's a little hokey. But I thought they'd been around a while, but maybe I'm wrong on that. But yeah, I'm not that into them, honestly. Am I going to review the new singles that came out while I was on tour? I'm going to try to go back and maybe address a few of them that were bigger in the next weekly track roundup, but probably not that many. Unfortunately, I think, you know, we're just going to have to call the past couple of weeks as far as like best worst tracks videos kind of a wash. When do I think that Death Grips album is going to make the modal jazz record that we were all anticipating from them? Probably in the next 10 years. If Death Grips comes out with 10 more years of music, we'll get a modal jazz record at some point. Thank you for showing me Denzel Curry. After hearing snippets of off of Taboo, like Black Metal Terrorist and No Pen, No Pad, I know this will be a fantastic album. Expecting more than Imperial, so am I. I think it's going to be a great record. Thank you very much. Do I think Jay Tillman has hit a wall stylistically, sticking to a clearly safe space where he knows what works, just keeps doing it? Or do I think he'll lose ground and shake it up? Honestly, I think Josh is still very much in a position to shake it up. I think he is a true artist and, you know, most likely will do that at some point in the near future. We just have to give him the time and space to do it and just be patient with him. Moving on from there, thoughts on Scorpion Tracklist being a double album. P.S. Nice Shades Melon Man. Thank you very much, Steven. It being a double album is a little disappointing for me because here's the thing. Like, I have so much to review. I don't need another double album in my life, number one. And number two, if it's shit, that's going to be a whole lot of shit to sift through. It's going to be a whole lot of shit. And Drake already proved that he's not that great at going long on views. So, like, look, if Drake pulls through on this one, and there is a fucking chance he might, it'll be a miracle. But listen, on this new project, I don't want to hear Drake not talking tough, not one fucking bar, okay? Because after Pusha T bitched you out and you basically gave up on the beef, like, Who's going to take Drake talking tough seriously? Who will take it seriously? Nobody. Nobody. Because it's a joke. All right, let's move on from there. Okay. Hey, Anthony, for Australia, could I please outline the issues I have with Jordan Peterson? You're both free speech advocates, but it seems like you have a few qualms with the man. Thank you. Much love. Yeah, I just think he's really regressive, honestly, philosophically and ideologically. He adheres to and bases his philosophy on a lot of like religious mumbo jumbo and just total made up bullshit. The other day I caught him talking to somebody in a live stream asking him about the legitimacy of gay marriage, and dude couldn't even come out like in strong support of gay marriage. Dude thinks that like fucking it's weird that gay people would get married and like adopt a kid and raise a kid. And I don't know. I just think philosophically he's really backwards. And all because he gets a lot of his ideas out of a Bronze Age mythical book written by people who didn't even have working fucking plumbing. And if you showed them like a laptop or, I don't know, even a Game Boy, they would probably think you're the fucking devil incarnate and would stone you to death. It's funny that we look to people who lived during an era of great confusion and ignorance for our moral code. But for whatever reason, Peterson hasn't quite, realized that yet because he's, hey, it's cool that you're a free speech advocate, but he's kind of a dum-dum. That piano question was weird. Sorry about it. I really do appreciate the rec with the library tapes. Maybe one day I'll record that piano album and try to send it to you. Good luck. Good luck. Oh, yeah. And thank you very much. Thoughts on Designer's new 7-track album? I think it is trash and not very good and kind of generic. And I don't care about it at all. But thank you very much, Quinn, for supporting. Next, S. Modog. And we have 13 minutes left. Do you ever YouTube traditional ethnic folk music? I think it is a very underexposed area of the human experience. I recommend Tarif de Haido. Fucking gypsy klezmer Eastern Bloc shit. That is my shit. I was into that shit in college, bro. Taraf de Haidux, they fucking play like motherfuckers. Super virtuous. The fucking fiddle, violin playing, whatever the fuck you want to call it, is fucking amazing. Super fucking jammy. Intense, man. Intense. Also, the Kokani Orchestra is fucking sick as well. I used to be heavy into that like Balkan brass shit back in the day. I had a college professor that was like turning me on to it. And Taraf de Haidux was definitely one of the first bands that he like fucking pulled out of nowhere. Hey man, thoughts on experimental Jet Set Trash and No Star by Sonic Youth? I just don't really have any strong feels on them off the top of my head, so I apologize, Brendan, for basically disappointing you. But still, thank you for supporting. Again, no real strong thoughts on that. Have I listened to The Electric Lucifer by Bruce Hack yet? Yes, I do believe I listened to a bit of it, and I shared it on my Twitter. And I thought it was pretty cool. I remember you freaking out at me when I hadn't heard it. And you're just like, Anthony, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why haven't you heard this Bruce Hack record yet? Please stop sleeping on a classic by a pioneer. Yes, okay. I did give it a listen to it. I did try it out. And it was a really cool record. It was a cool record. You did make a good recommendation there, buddy. You did make a good recommendation there, okay? You made a good recommendation. I will say. Thank you very much, Ben. Ben Wrangler, everybody. Recommender extraordinaire. He's starting his own YouTube channel soon with sick recommendations all around. Been loving your reviews of up-and-coming Australian music. Check out music from the 3070 Collective. Okay, sounds cool. The 3070 Collective. I'll give it a shot. Would I consider covering Bill Wirtz in some capacity? His current goal is to break the top 40. Thoughts on his music? I think Bill Wirtz is pretty cool. Definitely a sick and demented individual in some respects. However, super talented musician and just interesting sound all around. The way he blends pop and, I don't know, like weird, quirky, white joke jazz. I don't even know what the fuck you would call it. Like I remember hearing music like it all the fucking time used in commercial capacity, like when I was a kid in the 80s and 90s, but like these days you just don't really hear much of it anywhere. And I have a sneaking suspicion that he's maybe around my age, which is why he looks so fondly on that style of music and why he incorporates it so heavily into his own stuff. But personally, I haven't really listened to a lot of his, I guess, would you even say serious songs? I mean, I've heard some of his longer songs on YouTube, but if he has albums on like, Apple Music or anything like that, I wouldn't even know. Let me look up right now. Bill Wirtz. I have seen some of his weirder, jokier songs, with like, oh, hey, there's an iTunes link, advertising that at the very end. But honestly, like I just kind of listen to that shit on YouTube. But yeah, it does look like he has a lot of singles here. I don't know if he'll ever have like a single that goes super, super viral or again, cracks the top 40 or anything like that. But I mean, I wish him luck. He's a talented guy. Heard Lorraine, also, I have not, so I'm sorry about that. Also Pinkerton versus Blue album, also Kitsy. Okay. Well, I'm not like you're going to verse all of these. I'm not going to verse all of these, but I will say I like Blue album better than Pinkerton. I can't really say about Kitsy and College Dropout right now. It's too early to call. Slanted and I'm more of a Crooked Rain guy, and I'll just leave my thoughts there, John. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, John. Moving on from there. Second try with this question. Thoughts on Zeal and Ardor's new album? Will I review it? It is on my calendar. I do plan on reviewing it, but I have not heard it yet, so I cannot comment, so I apologize. Cody! But thank you very much for supporting, and again, I will cover it. You can only have one right now, a new Outkast album or a new Kitsy Ghost album. Honestly, I'd rather a new Outkast record. Kitsy Ghost is great, but honestly, I could be totally happy, totally satisfied with it being a one-time thing. I really could. I really honestly fucking could. Because I feel like that would make the statement even stronger. Like, we just came in, we just fucking Vulcan death gripped it. First try, walk away. We went and killed it. First touch. And we're just done. Bow out. Whereas honestly, I felt like Outkast still had some more gas in the tank. And even if it's a total flop, I would like to hear a new Outkast album. I think James Blake is incredibly underrated amongst most music listeners. Thoughts on James Blake's discography as a whole, and what do I think he's dropping an album this year? I mean, if he drops an album this year, that's really good. I think his first two records are great. But after that, it really does kind of trail off. And unfortunately, James, he hasn't been dropping, a whole lot of great music consistently. And he's been kind of slipping into the background a little bit, sort of doing a lot of production and behind-the-scenes stuff for a lot of other artists. And I think as a result, there have been a lot of younger music listeners that haven't taken to his stuff and aren't even really aware of his existence. But hopefully, with this new set of tracks he's been dropping, I hope he kind of gains that attention back and just drops some good shit. What do I think of what do I consider to be the best Bright Eyes project? I mean, most people would say I'm Wide Awake, and it is a great record. It is a great and a tight record, but personally, I think a little bit more, I personally prefer Lifted. And I could see myself maybe doing a classic review of one of them at some point. What are my thoughts on Troye Sivan, his latest 3 singles, or for his new project? I haven't heard them. Generally, I wasn't really a big fan of his music in the past. It came off maybe a little bit too cutesy in my opinion. But I'm open. I'll try his new shit. Next. Okay, wait. Okay, I got that one. Come on now, Firefox. Okay, so this is Danilo making all those recommendations that he said he would make. So everybody take notice of this. These are his recommendations. These are his good outside of the U.S. borders recommendations. Try this shit out over here. Look it up. Expand your mind. I can actually vouch for Os Mutantes. They're sick as fuck. Who's next? And I don't know about Pet Shop Boys. I can't really name my favorite off the top of my head. Next, hi, Anthony. Good to hear from you tonight. 2 unrelated questions. Do I plan on doing a tour in Canada? Next time I do a West Coast tour, I probably will do, like a Vancouver date. And what do I think about the French down-tempo band Air? Their breakout record's pretty good, but outside of that, I haven't really tried a lot of their stuff, so I can't say. But the synths in their songs are awesome. I kind of love that throwback vintage feel of their stuff. It's a really great vibe. If I don't review Supreme Bilentel / Chris Benoit at some point, then you ain't for the culture, Melon Man, West Side Gun, do. Okay. Scissor versus Now versus Solange, which is best? They're all golden. Or NAO. I think I prefer SZA at this moment. I think I'm more of a SZA guy as of right now. Angel. What are some modern pop punk recommendations to try to swing me to that side? I don't know, maybe Modern Baseball or something like that. Maybe Joyce Manor. Maybe one of those. Maybe Jeff Rosenstock. Thoughts on the Bus Driver album? Have not heard it yet. Super long album. Have not gotten a chance to listen to it because I was out on tour. However, I do plan on giving it a listen and trying to do some sort of coverage of it at some point. Thank you very much for enjoying the reviews, Evan. I have a few more minutes here, so I'm not going to take up too much more time here. Let me get rid of a few frickin' things over here. Just try to make things a bit more sensible. But bam. Okay. Sup, rude boy. It's difficult for me to reconcile my high esteem for your typically impeccable taste with your 10 impeccable taste with your 10 for Ye. I'm sad now. I didn't give a 10 to Ye. Ye did not get a 10. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I mean, are you talking about like the 10 for Kids See Ghosts? Like I didn't give Ye the album a 10. I gave the collaboration a 10. But if you don't like the fact that I gave it a 10, I mean, I don't know. I think the whole fucking thing is flames from front to back. I think it's a pretty unique and cutting edge album. And yeah, you're just going to have to deal. So bye-bye. Second try, have I heard either of Rex Orange County album's thoughts? Yes, I have. I do kind of regret not covering his last shit. However, I will be covering his next shit. So you can look forward to that. He's a nice, tuneful white boy. He's a nice boy. Moving on from there. Is it theoretically easier to receive a high rating on a shorter project than a longer one? What do you think of Drake's new album being 25 songs? Well, I mean, honestly, of all the 10s that I've dropped so far, 2 of those projects are very long. I mean, I guess The Money Store isn't super long, but it is of a normal album size. I wouldn't necessarily say it's easier because here's the thing. If you strip your project down to 7 cuts, you limit it to 7 songs, you limit it to 8 songs. Every 8 of course it has to be great throughout, but the thing is like, I would say the expectations for all those tracks are even fucking higher because all of those tracks have to be satisfying as a project at the end of the day. Like, it can't feel like you left me wanting more, So it comes with its own set of difficulties. I know you're super busy right now because of tour. Well, I'm back from tour. Tour is over. But can you please review the new snail mail? It is sort of on my consideration list. Where the hell did I put it? It's here on my calendar somewhere. So I am considering. I am thinking about it. What do I think? What do I look for when rating an album? Is it the same across all genres? I wouldn't say it's the same across all genres. There's no criteria for a high rating, but I would say maybe the most baseline requirement is that all the tracks have to be great. At least for a positive rating. If it's a negative rating, most of the tracks have to be shit. So. Moving on from there, I'm only going to take a couple more as we are at the 10:30 mark. I did not check out the new I Am I Who Am I record. Thoughts on the intellectual dark web community. Most of them are total idiots. In your Yeezus Redux review, you called it in the album of the... What? In your Yeezus Redux review... Okay, get the fuck out of here, Brad Taste, you ball breaker. Thoughts on IDK getting the 10th spot on Double XL? Oh, did he? Did he get the 10th spot? That's good. It's good for him. That's good for him. I'm glad they fucking manned up and still did the 10th spot. So that's great. That's great for him. Thoughts on Fishman's? Just got the album. Just got an album in the Rate Your Music Top 100. Oh, that's good. Yeah, it is amazing. I actually heard them first when somebody recommended their shit to me in one of these live streams, and it's actually like pretty psychedelic, trippy, shoegazy, and texturally amazing. So sorry, I thought you gave Ye a 10. Kids See Ghosts is fire. Disregard that mistake. Ye is trash, though, jobless. Well, I do like Ye quite a bit. I don't think it's Kanye's best, but I do love it. And no, I wouldn't give it a 10. It does have its flaws, but I do like it quite a bit. No, again, I already said I didn't check that out. What do I think? What do I think of this movement towards shorter format albums, not just from Kanye and company? Honestly, I hope to see more shorter albums into the future because I would much rather people kind of basically force themselves to make their best tracks in a very limited amount of time than just basically fucking like pack their albums with filler and fucking bore me to death. So I welcome the change. I welcome the trend. Thoughts on the J-Rock album? I've just finished writing a review for it, which will be dropping at some point in the next 7 days. So look out for that. I have a hot take. The only objective way to judge music is through passion. If the artist doesn't care about the music, the listener doesn't care. I suppose, mostly that's true, although I've known and have met plenty of artists over the years who, just kind of write their music from a very calculated standpoint, don't really have that much passion about it. And yet, the listeners love it. So what are you going to do? Thoughts on Noisia, favorite record? I can't really say as I have not heard enough of the discography to comment. So I'm sorry, Colts fan. Thank you very much, Dienlo. I really loved your Pusha T Daytona review, but did you really have to? Okay, thank you very much. That's old meme, stale meme. Check out my band's new single, Skyline Park Push, experimental tinged hard rock group, album coming out in July. Okay, everybody make note of that with Funky Daddy. Thank you very much. Did you know that if you play the White Album backwards, it says Cal is dead? No, I didn't know that, and this is the last one I will be taking over here if my browser will function properly. Here we go. Thank you very much. Akira is a bitch again. Karkwa is the best band from Canada. Fight me. Okay, I will not try to fight you. I will let you live with that statement. That's totally fine. Even if there are bands from Canada who I might like a bit more, like Godspeed, I will let you have that because you have been so incredibly goddamn generous during this entire thing. You're the best, you're the best, you're the best, you're the best, you're the best. Best AVGN episode, maybe it's the Rob episode, or maybe it's the Castlevania episode, or the Dr. Jekyll episode, or maybe even the Bernstein Bears episode, which I thought was pretty funny. Or maybe that's even one of the worst ones. I don't know. Shalom, Tony. Thanks for doing also the Shit Pickle episode. It's hilarious. Thanks for doing everything you do in the community. Your reviews really help me expand my musical profile. What is your favorite Led Zeppelin album? The correct answer is Houses of the Holy, by the way. Houses of the Holy, really? I don't know, man. I kind of like 3. I like 4, and I like Physical Graffiti a lot. Houses of the Holy, man. The best one? I'll let you have it. I'll let you have it. And I'm going to leave it at that, guys. That has been the live stream. That has been the live stream. Woo! 2 fucking hours straight. And I still feel amped after all of it. And I didn't even have a drink. I didn't even have a drink in front of me. Typically, I need 2 jars of water for this shit. I'm dying of thirst right now. But I'm just amped to be back. I'm amped to be fucking back. And it is true. Houses of the Holy, it is great, but I don't know. I think I like Physical Graffiti a smidge more. Again, I'm sorry to everybody whose question I didn't get to. I rarely get to all of them, so again, I apologize. But to all of you who gave and support the needle drop, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And Akira is a bitch says last 100. What the fuck? Oh my God. Wow. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Wait a second. Somebody just another don't close stream. Yes. I just saw that. I'm not closing the stream yet. Austin, thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate you supporting. You're the best. I love you, love you, love you, love you. Another one. What the fuck? Oh my God. What are you doing? What are you doing to me? What are you doing to me right now? Oh my God. Oh my God. What are you doing? Where have you been all my life? What the fuck? How many hundreds of dollars has Akira Issa bitch given during this whole thing? Has it been $1,000? Has it been a fucking grand? Like, what the hell is going on? Has it been like, it's been like $700 or $800 at the very least. At the very least. What the fuck? Are you serious right now? Is this a scam? Am I being scammed right now? Is this a scam? What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on right now? Is this a scam? Am I being scammed? Is this a spoof? Is this a goof? Am I being spoofed and goofed right now? What the fuck? My God, Akira. What the hell is happening? What is happening right now? Oh my God. Oh my God. Everybody in the chat's just going fucking insane. Like, what the fuck, man? Review the new Bexa. I'm not sure if I'm going to end up reviewing that. I'll try to remind myself to give it a shot, though. Let me see, though. But yeah, I do have more reviews on the way. More of all of that on the way. I don't know what else off the top of my head I wanted to say. I just missed you guys. I had a great time. You know, you're the best. Love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. And we're gonna have another live stream 2 weeks from now. Not this coming Thursday, but the next Thursday. Again, it's every other Thursday. That's what we do. And let's see, Akira on me. What the fuck? What's going on? What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is happening? What the fuck is happening right now? What is going on? Dude, come on, man. If you are fucking with me, I'm going to be so unhappy. If you're fucking with me, I'm going to be so sad. Do not make me sad. Do you want to see me sad? You don't want to see me sad, do you? Okay? I hope you're not fucking with me. I seriously hope I'm not being fucked with right now. Okay? So, thank you very much. I appreciate you. And I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope go hug your loved ones. Akira is legend, obviously. Akira to God. Yeah, you're the best. You're the best. You're the best. You're the best. All right, Anthony Fantano. Forever. Mwah, 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 mwah. Getting sexy for you. Bye, guys.